guys heard of that term or that saying that you're in your head too much? Give me some hearts if you have heard that term. And there's a lot of people who are in their heads so much that they're debilitated from moving forward on things. I think a lot of people have that problem and that issue. And so what that means, I looked it up and, just kind of get a comprehensive definition. It's a reflective looking inward, more often overthinking or overanalyzing. And I think depending on what the issue is, we all have experienced that. But there are some who experience it even more than once in a while, depending on the circumstance. It's like they overanalyze every single thing. That has been you the last few days. You don't feel good, right? Doing that. You feel bogged down. You feel like you just want to get it out. I will say that's probably how you're feeling, I would think. And so doesn't it make sense that when we do that, when we're in our head so much, you feel beat up, right? You need to get it out, right? That you need to get out of your head. And one of the ways of doing that is, as many of you know, is through journaling, right? And so again, we're talking about journaling because this is what really this channel is about. And I know we talked about it a couple of days ago with hope and how to get out of it, et cetera, et cetera. But it is something that I think that sometimes I get so full of things in my head, or I get annoyed, like super annoyed. And honestly, I don't want to rehash it a lot of times, but sometimes it's exactly what we need, is to journal it out and rehash it. Sometimes I really feel like I don't want to talk about this in my, and I don't want to think about this because it just doesn't feel good. And so I don't sometimes. And then later I realize, it took me longer to get over it, rather than perhaps if I just got it down on paper, I'm not going to say that it's going to disappear, but it may be faster getting over it. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about. And then also the fact that, when I went to Canada, there were a couple of ladies that I got to sit with, young girls that really were talking about journaling, and everybody that's in there, there was like about, 17, 20 people in there. There are a lot of people who had a lot of beautiful things in their journals. And please understand, I'm not knocking that. I think it's wonderful. To each person, to each his own. Whatever you can do, whatever it makes you feel better. There are times when I pre-decorate my pages with just some color or some washi. And you know what? It encourages me to go and journal. It does. But then there's other times when it's just a blank page and I just write. And the thing is that I think that we so many times try to stop ourselves from doing things like just journaling, right? Because here's some things that I wrote down. First of all, there's no wrong or right way to journal. And a lot of times we are in our heads thinking so much of how to write something, or how to get past that first page, or if we don't do it this way or that way, ... You can fill out the blanks. Or what if I start in this way, then I change my mind? Or we are waiting for someone else to show you how to do things, and maybe you admire someone and you're kind of just waiting to get to the point where you'll feel comfortable enough to do what they're doing, maybe, you know. And in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great to get inspiration from other people's, but I think that if it's going to stop you from doing it, then you need to just stop and really just evaluate where you're at. Not to the point where you're in your head again and just thinking of all these things, but just going and doing it. And again, we've talked about this a couple of days ago, but I just, you know, I think sometimes, oh, that's what my point is, that I was going to say, a lot of times we think, you know, a page has to be really beautiful. Only prayer journal for now, trying to work through issues, like to expand to daily things. You know what? But that's great, right? I think that's a good way. It's like a form of journaling. And right now, sometimes all I could do is my scripture pages, and that's my time, because to me that's more beneficial maybe than writing out my feelings that maybe I don't want to rehash, right? And instead getting the word in me. And so, you know, again, it's to each his own. We all have different seasons in our lives. We are not on the same page with other people, maybe a couple of people, but on a regular basis, we are not on the same page with everybody else. And so whatever season you're going through, work with that and do what you have to do to exactly do what it works, Deborah's saying. So I just want to give you an example of this is January through June, okay? I had time where I was able to do some pages like this. And decorative, and sometimes not so much. Very simple things, right? That's still very simple. It's just a bunch of watercolor. However, to me, it's fun. I like it. I love seeing those different, I use some stickers from other people. And so that's what I was doing from January to June. Okay, there are some missed pages. Okay, but this from after June, so from July to today, okay, I'll show you what I have. It's all writing. And I basically, that's it. I don't have any drawings in it, okay? And then let me show you what my scripture pages looked like last year. I would pre-decorate it and put art in it. It's kind of hard. It's really good to hear this, Rona, at this time, getting stuck in the details and ideas in my head and nothing on paper. Okay, see, I was doing all this last year. Sometimes I just write, and other times in more details, I try not to pressure myself. Exactly, that's perfect. Okay, but honestly, right now, so these are my scripture pages, all decorated. Every single page has some kind of color in it, right? Today, from July through today, let me show you what I have. This is a little bit more decorative because of the writing. I thought writing scriptures in passport, and I bought a B6, but filling A5. That's great. Okay, do you see any color? One of the reasons is because I want to be able to read what I'm writing, because I'm also putting my own thoughts in here in like a devotional form sometimes. And so I want to be able to see it. But honestly, I don't have time to to make it really pretty anymore. Not at this time. And so this is what I do. So I just write. It's all, I mean, it is all just writing. It's hard to show it like this, but It really is just all writing. Ooh. Yeah, you can't really see it. I'm a writer at heart. When I like to go outside my comfort zone, I like to just pour out my heart in words. Exactly. That's perfect. And just writing, just writing, right? And so there's this quote that says, "Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along." And I believe that, you know, just start where you're at. And I want to, I don't want to necessarily recommend this book because I've not really finished it. I'm far from finishing it, okay? However, it is something that when I started listening to it, I started doing what it told you to do. And the book is called, what is it? The 5-second rule. That's what it is. And basically, I'll just give you a quick premise. It's when you know the right thing to do, and you're in your head, and usually you think of all these things, why you can't do this or why you can't do that. I mean, she goes more into detail, of course, but basically you count and you just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when you get to 1, you move. You do whatever it is that you're supposed to do. And when I started hearing that and started listening to this audiobook, I actually tried it. That first day, I tried it right away. And I just started doing it every time I knew I needed to do something. Or here, I'll give you an example. When I was about to eat, I see a dessert, right? And I know it's something I shouldn't have. And it's not that there's anything wrong with dessert in and of itself, you know that. But for me at that time, I really didn't need it, right? And I'm trying to exercise discipline from desserts. And so, yes, Mel Robbins. And so I watched her motivational video the other day. I subscribed to these videos and listened to one of this author. Oh, that's great. And so, yeah, so what I did is I did that. It was that day that I started listening to her, and I did that. I just said, I was tempted by whatever it was, I don't remember, and I just counted in my head 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I moved away. That was it. Got it out of my head, got it out of my sight. Sometimes you have to replace it with something. For example, you can maybe replace it with a vegetable or replace it with something that will fill you maybe in a better way, like journaling. That's another reason why you should have paper with you at all times, and a pen or a pencil. You know, replace it with something. But my point is just doing that and just counting that and then just moving towards what it is that you need to do. That is amazing. I just watched one of her videos and also subscribed to her the other day. Oh, that is great. Yeah, I didn't know about the subscription. I was trying to get through that book, that audio book. And anyway, and so yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that's one way of working through some of those things and helping yourself do that. But again, it's when you know what you should do or shouldn't do. That's what it's for. It's not for things that, you know, bad things or whatever, and then you just go do it. It's not for that. It's for the positive things that will help you. And so check that out. Like I said, I can't really necessarily sit here and fully recommend it because I've not read the book, but you know, you could check out and see like the subscription that they're talking about. Maybe, I don't know if it's free or not, but maybe you could listen to a couple of things that she has to say. And now that I have made this video, I'm gonna have to make sure that I really do read the whole thing or listen to it anyway. And so anyway, with that, I just wanted to leave you with that and to just kind of really, again, reiterate the fact that you just stop being in your head so much that it debilitates you from doing what you should do or what is going to be better for you. And so with that, I would love for you guys to share on the comments if a couple of things. For example, what one of the things to share on is what coping methods do you apply to get out of your head? Like I said, all of us get in our head at some point or another. What do you do to get out of your head? And also, if you would like to share with us a quote on of some sort. We're all into, a lot of us are into quotes. We love quotes, and they can help solidify things in our brains too. And so share a quote that you have that will motivate, that is motivating to get going, to do things, that type of thing. Would love to see those quotes down below in the comment section to share with us. And so let's start a discussion about it here on YouTube, and let's help each other out by sharing quotes, by maybe giving examples of what, like I said, you do to get yourself out of those times when your head is just filled with so much stuff that it's keeping you from getting to the things that you need to do, or keeping you down. A lot of times, and I am not, again, I'm just going to say sometimes the depression feeling that we get can come from the fact that we are feeding our brains and our minds with all those negative thoughts. And sometimes it's good to be very real with yourself and to understand. But once you get to that point, let it go. Go towards doing what's right, whatever it takes. Don't keep rehashing it in your head. It's debilitating. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and go, you guys, because it is late here. I haven't eaten dinner and I really need to get home. It's dark. And so, yeah, I thank you so much for being here. Thank you for that hashtag, and love you guys. And I really appreciate you guys showing up with me here and listening to me go on about things, and I hope that it is helping you in one way or another. Again, my whole purpose of this is that I want us to connect. I want to make the community even smaller than it is in how we feel about it, because there are a lot of people out there. Bye, Miss Vicky. Thank you for showing up. There's a lot of people out there that they need that socialization. Maybe they don't have it at home. Maybe they don't have friends who can get it with the journaling and the planning and all that stuff. And that is something that I just want to encourage you guys. Let's keep showing up, and let's be there for each other for a few seconds, what have you, and just comment, that type of thing. And let's make this community smaller and one that is helpful to one another. So with that, thank you very much again. Good night, and we will see you tomorrow. And as usual, keep on documenting life as it happens. Bye-bye.